It's Friday, May 9th, just 18 days to Cornerstone Spa in Las Vegas. And we are closing in on our crazy preparation phase. With our remote team spread across countries, we try to make the most of every chance to get real face time. And today is a special occasion. We finally have the chance to meet Fernanda and Peter in person for the very first time. Fridays are always a little special here. Anna introduced us to Techno Friday, a weekly tradition to end the week on a high note. A bulletproof way to squeeze out every last drop of creative energy before the week wraps up. It has become a thing now. I favor these moments. They are the ones that turn a bunch of people into a team. And this is where everything begins. Because how you do one thing is how you do everything. We leave Berlin with that thought packed into every bag. Okay, and a ton of merch to spread the word and help people get creative. Anna, Michelle and I head west, chasing the light, chasing the next spark, on a day that has 33 hours. Susan will join us from her new home in Australia, one time zone ahead, as usual. But before we land in Vegas, we make a stop that means a lot to us. We fly to California to visit Frances, one of Octily's earliest advisors and someone who's had Silicon Valley running through her veins since long before we ever touched the Cornerstone customization. I met her in my previous role in San Francisco, more than a decade ago, and through work we became really good friends, long-distance friends. To maximize the time we have ahead of the event, we get strategic. We set up in Santa Clara, just a stone's throw away from the Apple campus, close enough to feel the design discipline in the air, and just right for everything ahead: Frances, San Francisco, Santa Cruz. A few days to breathe in the place where thinking big is second nature. At sunrise, we head to Christmas Tree Point at Twin Peaks, close to the impressive Sutro Tower. The city is still asleep, but the lights already telling stories. This is our kickoff, a full panoramic view, the calm pause before the action-rich plan. We start local, getting coffee and breakfast to go at Mission Dolores Park, settling in the way we like to, with a sense of place. Slow breakfast, quick glances, heads on a swivel. The city starts to move. We walk through Clarion and Balmy Alley, full of street art, walls covered in voices, graffiti, protest, memory, humor and color. It's messy and intentional, which is exactly the kind of design we love. As our luggage was packed to the brim and California is very strict on bringing foreign food items, we stopped by Lair's to pick up some German gifts for Frances. Once we've arrived at the Embarcadero, we climb again for another beautiful overview. Filbert steps first, then Koi Tower. 2 spots to zoom out before we dive back in. Back down, we pass Valancourt Fountain, that brutalist punch of structure and honesty from the 70s. Then Lincoln Park and Cupid Span, because there's love in everything we do. Then quietly 88 Howard Street, my old apartment. A few windows above the Embarcadero, and the place where Octily first started to become a vague idea. Next up, refilling our energy at Super Duper Burgers. The name alone is mouth-watering. And a little disclaimer, it's never not messy. To counter the noon dip, blue bottle coffee at the Ferry Building. Because caffeine and fresh air is an official strategy. We walk down San Francisco's Central, Diagonal, Market Street. The area here feels like walking through the internet, with so many brands and logos we know from our online journeys. We pass the cable car turnaround on Powell, always a show. Every stop, a tiny reminder that the details are the story. We hop on one of the famous cable cars and head to Lombard Street. A bumpy ride, but a great experience, similar to challenging projects. The city can be steep at times, but this one is crazy. We are about to change gears. Blazing saddles on height, it's time to ride. E-bikes on, smiles fully locked in. And then, ultimately, the gigantic Golden Gate Bridge. Did you know its color is called International Orange? A color used in the aerospace industry to set things apart from their surroundings. Similar to Safety Orange, but deeper and with a more reddish tone. We ride across with wind in our ears, cameras rolling, nothing to say but, yep, that's the one. We stop at the old viewpoint on Consulman, the one with that perfect pullback shot. Our postcard moment to take home. The bridge behind us, another half day in front of us. And finally, I get to use the word embark in a sentence again, without it sounding like ChatGPT wrote it. Here we are, actually embarking on the ferry back from Sausalito. That's especially true on a short city trip, but even more so in life. If you have the chance to change perspectives, experience different elements, always go for it. With Alcatraz to our left and the Golden Gate Bridge in the distance, we glide back toward the city. Wind picking up, skyline unfolding. The iconic Transamerica Pyramid still standing tall, now joined by its modern neighbor, a statement of a building, the Salesforce Tower. Arriving at Fisherman's Wharf, we can smell what's cooking. We wave at the sea lions and return the bikes. With this action-rich schedule behind us, we end the day at SF Jazz, with rhythms that twist and bend and surprise. Music that's disciplined, chaotic, full of care and instinct. Feels familiar. Then, another of my favorite food recommendations, Pachi's Pizza in Hayes Valley. A vegan deep dish pizza so good, I even tried to recreate it back home. A table full of pizza and a good tired silence. After this intense kickoff, we took a deep breath and continued our journey. We visited the Apple Visitor Center. Next up, off to the beach. We stepped into the Santa Cruz boardroom. Yes, in actual Santa Cruz. It's Anna's favorite clothing brand. And to make this stop and a little funding part of the journey, our team turned it into her birthday present. There's one key life lesson. Whenever you can stroll at the beach and look at the horizon, stroll at the beach and look at the horizon. Back from Santa Cruz, we took the winding roads up into Los Gatos Hills, just in time for the barbecue at Francis and Jim's, the pinnacle of our California stop. The very next day, we left the Bay Area behind and flew to Vegas with a few more shared memories packed into our carry-ons. We checked out the Strip, stepped into the Wynn, and visited our all-green booth for the very first time. We rolled up sleeves, did the final prep for the welcome reception, and got ready to meet everyone in person. These weren't just a few days off. They were meticulously planned to plant a few more creative seeds in our minds. It was our way to absorb, to listen, to experience, our way to plan, to be prepared with the muse on our side for the next creative sprint. Every choice, from where we stayed to which street corner we paused at, was intentional. Because how we prepare a trip like this is how we run our projects. How we share a meal is how we show up for our clients. How we notice context, color, pacing, rhythm is how we design, write code, and build trust. How we do one thing is how we do everything.
And at Octily, we call that one thing, get creative.